And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome out here to Woodland Park. I'm John Dale. I'll be bringing you live coverage of this U.S. Amateur Match Play Championship local quarterfinal between Seth Singleton and Michael Tucker. The competitors are getting warmed up and they'll be at the tee and ready to go in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. All right, welcome out to Woodland Park, everyone. We're live at the first tee. I'm John Dale here with Darius Turrentine for this quarterfinal match between Seth Singleton and Michael Tucker. How are you doing today, Darius?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm ready for some good round of disc golf here.
Yeah, so both of these gentlemen are playing their first match in this competition. They both had byes.
Looks like Seth's going to be teeing off first for us.
All right, and here's Seth Singleton at the tee. And he went with a backhand throw. It's flexing out to the right, Darius, but that looks like it's going to be perfect right at the bottom of the hill.
He got all of that disc. He can't ask for much more there.
All right, Michael Tucker, his opening shot of the tournament. And
Michael with a good throw as well. He's down there.
I think I saw a forehand drive there from Michael Tucker.
Yeah, for people that aren't too familiar with Michael, he's predominantly a forehand player. So Seth has a really good forehand as well. So we're going to see a lot of fun shots out here today.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this match today, Darius. I was checking out what I could find result-wise from PDGA events, and looked like neither of these gentlemen have played from the same tee pad in a competition before.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not too familiar with Michael, but I believe he's fairly new to the game, or at least new to the area. I'm not sure. Do you know much on him, John?
I know that I don't know a lot about him, his personal life, but I do know that he is fairly new to the club, and he played the Mule Kick Open from the short tees, shot 3 under in both rounds, so he finished the tournament second place in his division, 6 under par, and so far he's been shooting under par from the short tees in the spring league on Saturdays. So he's consistently been shooting under par from the tees he's been assigned to, but these long tees are a different animal altogether, Darius.
Oh, 100%. You know, and I think And with that being said, I think maybe experience is kind of give Seth the advantage here, but we'll see. It's anybody's game. It's match play. We've seen some upsets already early in this tournament.
Yeah, so hole 1 is it's a par 4, and both looks like Michael Tucker is about halfway down the fairway. He still has a good at least 200 feet to the basket. Wouldn't you agree, Darius?
Yeah, I'd say so. Looks like, again, he has a wide open forehand. It looks like that's what he's going to like to throw here.
Okay, so here's Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 1. And like you said, once again, with the forehand, it's a little high though, but he's gonna have probably 55, maybe 60 feet to try to get it in there for a 3. Because I would imagine Seth Singleton looks like he's all the way down here at the bottom of the hill. Should be a routine approach for him, Darius.
Yeah, I'd almost be willing to bet he's going to throw a nice little Anheuser jump putt from where he's at. So this is going to be really a good opportunity for him to capitalize and maybe gain a stroke early, because we both know, John, we've both been eliminated from this tournament. You know, every stroke counts, and when you get up, that means a lot, you know, with your confidence.
Yeah, especially early if you can get into your opponent's head. So here's Seth Singleton, his approach shot on hole 1. And it's perfect, Darius. Well, a little long, it's in the weeds, so actually
he's going to have an obstructed putt. It's not too thick maybe where he's at, so he could have a fairly straight jump putt at it, but not necessarily ideal. I would say if I was Michael, I would just lay this one close and hope that Seth doesn't make it there.
All right, so looks like Michael Tucker is setting up for a shot here. Not sure how aggressive he's going to be there, Darius. Like I said, I have not seen him play in person before.
During warm-up, he was hitting some outside the circle putts for sure.
Okay, so here is Michael Tucker from 60 feet out. And he gave it a good run. Looks like he's within 5 feet for his 4th shot here on hole 1. So let's see what happens here with Seth Singleton.
Yeah, you know, the pressure's back on Seth as far as make it and get your stroke here. We'll see how deep his disc really went.
Yeah, and this is one of those places where if you have a corridor, you can stick with your routine putt, and it looks like he does, Darius. So here's Seth Singleton to win the hole. And right dead center. Great shot there by Seth Singleton. He takes hole 1 with a 3, and he is now 1 up. We'll see everyone at hole 2 in just a minute. We're back, hole 2. Seth Singleton is 1 up. He has the tee. It's a 275-foot par 3 OB right. And Seth Singleton goes with a forehand drive there, Darius. It skips up nicely within 15, 20 feet of the basket.
Yep, that's exactly how he drew it up. A little flip up forehand with that Jeremy Cohen Thunderbird.
All right, Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 2. And he goes with the forehand shot there. It's crashing out to the right side of the fairway, but it is safely inbounds, and he'll have a good 40 feet to the basket, Darius?
Yeah. I believe he got deep enough that these trees aren't really going to come into play. Like I said, it's still going to be a 40-foot putt, but I'd say he should have a straight line at the basket.
Yeah, he's pretty fortunate that he was able to avoid the branch there right off the tee and stay in. Yeah, I think if there had been any wind today, maybe that headwind would have helped him out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's the one disadvantage on this hole with the forehand dominant players. You're throwing towards OB. As you see, Seth kept his low and he threw a little bit straighter disc, but when you're a forehand player, you're going right at the OB, and you definitely don't want to go left either. You know, we have a lot of overhang there.
Yeah, and Darius, you know, the weather conditions are absolutely perfect today for disc golf. There's no wind to speak of. Temperature is right around 69 degrees and mostly cloudy skies, so sunlight shouldn't be a factor in these late afternoon putts either. All right, here's Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 2.
He didn't quite get as far as I thought he did, so he's going to have more of a hyzer putt than we expected.
All right, he gets it within 10 feet of the basket. He didn't seem too happy with that though, Darius.
Yeah, he seemed to just release a little nose down, but he should have a tap in there. But here's Seth, about 15 feet,
Yeah,
so maybe gain another stroke early.
Yep, Seth Singleton with his second shot to win hole 2. And it's wide left and a little long, Darius.
You see a laugh on his face. He knew as soon as he released it, he just let it go a little early. So this hole should be 2 tap-ins here for a push.
Okay, this looks like Michael Tucker is letting Seth Singleton putt first. He's in for the 3. And Michael Tucker in as well for a 3. And hole 2 is a push. Seth Singleton's 1 up through 2. We'll be at hole 3 in just a minute. All right, we are back, hole 3. Seth Singleton has the tee, 1 up. And he has a bomb of a drive there, Darius. Wow. I would say he is well over halfway up this 560-foot fairway.
Absolutely. Picture perfect drive there for Seth.
All right, Michael Tucker with the forehand drive. It's a little high. Will it stay in bounds? There is a road OB to the right, and it is out of bounds. Wow, tough break there. Tough break for Michael Tucker, Darius.
Yeah, again, you know, that's just the one thing about being forehand on these first couple holes. You're throwing, your forehand's fading right towards out of bounds. You know, that's the one real big danger here. Is it's a fairly wide fairway, but if you get your forehand a little high, a little nose up, it's gonna go right.
Yeah, that is not something that you want to see early in a match like this.
Absolutely not. You know, and I can attest. I understand how Michael's feeling. You know, I got down pretty early in my match. You know, it's a little bit of nerves, a little bit of, I guess, everything goes into it, and so I expect to see him settle down here though the next couple holes and really get some strokes back.
Yeah, still a lot of disc golf left to be played out here.
Oh yeah, you know that's
and
when
Birdie Rose coming up as well.
Yeah, definitely. When you get in match play, you know you never wish your opponent to play bad, but it's when they're playing good, it sure does get in your head a lot more.
Yeah. So Michael Tucker is going out to get his disc. He's marking a meter inbounds from where it exited the field of play.
And the biggest thing from there is just tough footing. The ditch there just really doesn't allow good footing and run up.
Yeah, and he still has about a 330-foot shot uphill the entire way to the, and he has to get through 2 tree lines as well. So here's Michael Tucker. Now his 3rd shot after the penalty. And it's a turnover forehand, hits the first line of trees and it's down. So he's gonna have a tough time just scrambling for a par here, Darius.
Absolutely. You know, I'll be honest, I don't expect to see Seth go for the basket here. Seth's pretty smart. I feel like he's gonna just try to get himself within 60 feet or so and try to get a par here.
Yeah, so here's Seth Singleton, and he's about 200 feet from the basket with his 2nd shot. And it's a low forehand. Gets a little bit of a skip, maybe an extra 15 feet on the end there, Darius.
Yeah, it looked like he was getting pretty aggressive there and just kind of released it a little low. But again, I still expect to see him get up and down for his par. And you know, this is Tucker right now. He's going for his par, so still in Seth's favor here.
Yeah, Seth just needs to play this hole smart, and it should be another hole in his scorebook for him. Michael Tucker is just now finding his disc. It's nestled right up. Looks like actually it's about 5 feet from the tree, so at least he has a little bit of space. Here's Michael Tucker with his 4th shot, hole 3.
Shouldn't be too much difficulty here besides those trees that are about 10 feet, 15 feet shy of the basket here.
And he went backhand there, Darius.
Yeah, and he just released it a little early there. That's the one thing just with him. You know, that was his first backhand of the round, and you could see it just wasn't quite connected there. Just released it a little early.
And like you said, he seems to be a predominantly forehand player. Here's Seth Singleton with his 3rd shot, hole 3, and it's a little low. It's not going to be an easy putt for this 4th one.
Absolutely, you know, he still lets himself with quite a bit of work to do, and you can see he's kind of frustrated with himself after those last 2 shots. He lets himself still some work to do, but again, you know, with that OB stroke, he still has the favor in his court.
Yeah, so Michael Tucker still has a legitimate opportunity to push this hole, but he will have to knock down this 35-foot putt.
And I'll tell you, John, people at home may not be able to see it, but that tree is dead center in his lie.
So he's getting down to get a better look at the basket. And here is Michael Tucker with his 5th shot, hole 3. And he almost made that, Darius. It hit the very top of the basket. Here's Seth Singleton. He can close it out right here. But it kisses the right side of the chains. So, wow, that's just going to make it sting even more for Michael Tucker. He had a great run.
Absolutely. You know, he literally used every inch of his body to stretch out around that tree. And just looked a little right and just a little low. But what a great run there for him to try to salvage the hole.
Okay, Seth Singleton, and a little left of center, but it is in, and he wins hole 3. He is now 2 up through 3. Will be at hole 4 in just a minute. All right, welcome back. Yeah, we're here at hole 4. You want to describe it for us, Darius?
Hole 4 is a dog left, right.
Okay. And Seth Singleton just gave us a great tee shot, forehand, and it is around the dogleg bend. Exceptional shot
that
there,
was
Darius.
great. You know, honestly, John, I'm a little upset. He didn't do that Tuesday night in doubles when he was my partner.
Missed that line by 4 feet.
Sounds like you're still a little bitter about that. But all right, here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 4. And he's also going with a forehand, but it looks like it got a little offline. It's going to be just left of the fairway.
Absolutely. You know, this gap is a lot smaller than it looks. You know, that's a very common play there. You know, just getting either too tight or too far left and missing the gap. With this being a nice forehand hole, he really wanted that one to really showcase his forehand.
So this par 4 is 411 feet long, and I'd say it's pretty evenly split from the tee to the dogleg and then to the basket. So
I agree. You know, the play is just dead straight shot off the tee. Bite it off a little bit at a time. 200 feet off the tee, 200 feet up shot. Actually, Tuesday night, going back to doubles, Grant threw it in from right here at the tee.
really,
So it's definitely, for a 2. Him and Blake David eagled it to shoot their 15 down round and win it actually on Tuesday. Looks like Michael Tucker's having a little trouble finding his disc.
yeah, he's pretty deep in the weeds there. Speaking of Grant Kelly, he had his match against Andrew Tester on Wednesday afternoon, and he won that match 3-1. He's pretty hot right now, Darius.
I'll tell you, that's the second round I've played with him in the past week and a half, and he is on fire. Whoever's in his way in this tournament better watch out. He's no joke.
Okay, so
And if I'm not mistaken,
sounds like there's some thorns back there.
Absolutely, it seems like he's getting poked a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, John, the winner of this match will play Grant Kelly. Is that correct?
That is correct, and it will be a true test for that semifinal. This year's bracket is really turning out to have some great competition, especially in these later stages.
Absolutely. We had some good matchups in the first round, but man, I've been really impressed with these second round matchups so far.
And it sounds like Michael Tucker is still having some issues back there. He's called Seth Singleton into the weeds. Let's see if we can get a better idea of what's going on here.
It looks like he's trying to figure out how to mark his lie. He seemed to be in such a tough place. Looks like Seth got him figured out there.
Okay, so here's Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 4. And he went with a nice backhand. He's right up there at the dogleg. That was excellent play right there.
You can just see how tough that shot was. He went from forehand to backhand to roller to tomahawk to thumber.
Bad as I wanted
all
to try to
within a
roll
minute.
that was not easy.
Yeah, that's a great job there by Michael Tucker to scramble out of the weeds.
Absolutely, and here we go. This is going to be a pretty straight shot at the basket here, and this is going to be his chance to really put some pressure back on Seth to lay it close.
Okay, so Michael Tucker, he still has a good 230 feet to the basket and a small tree in the way. And here's his third shot. Went with a backhand there. That one was very nice. He is within 10 feet of the basket. Great shot, Darius.
There's that backhand. You know, he still has it for sure. So this really returns the pressure back to Seth to really lay this one close if he wants a chance of winning this hole.
Yeah, so Seth Singleton, he's within 200 feet for his approach shot. Here's Seth Singleton, second shot, hole 4. And he's also going with a safe backhand there. And it's in the rough just past the basket and to the left.
He should be about 17 feet though. He's probably going to have a straddle putt with that being the rough it is. So he's kind of giving himself a tough tester here to try to win this hole.
Yeah, it's going to be just like on hole 1 where sometimes there's some clear corridors for you to use a traditional putt toward the basket, but other times you might not have anything or you have to do a turbo putt.
I think the issue he's going to run into here is going to be low overhang above his head when he gets into the woods there, John. It's almost like a canopy that he's going to have to crouch a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, we know that he is perfectly capable of hitting this putt. Distance-wise, it's not bad at all. So here's Seth Singleton to win hole 4 with a 3. And it's in. Great focus there by Seth Singleton. He takes hole 4 and he is now 3 up. We'll be at hole 5 in just a minute. All right, we're back hole 5. It's a 240-foot long par 3. Fairway goes slightly to the right toward the basket. Seth Singleton is 3 up, and he has the tee.
He's going to go with the Mako 3 backhand here.
A little high there, though. He didn't quite turn it over. Hits a tree, and it's rolling from the left side of the fairway to the right and rolls back to the right side. So he's in good shape for his approach.
Fun fact about this hole and this disc choice for Seth is he lost his Mako 3 that he really loved throwing in this hole. And he's had a tough time finding a replacement.
All right, here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 5. And he goes with a forehand.
Just a little turnover out of his hand. That was looking really good.
Unfortunately for both of them, they are in the fairway, and they'll both have a clean approach shot at the basket. But it is essential for each of them that they do get it close on this next shot.
Yep, for sure. This is a hole that you can go from a 3 to a 4 real quick with one kick off the fairway.
Yeah, and if you, especially the right side of the fairway, off the fairway is very unforgiving.
Absolutely. You know, it's just, you know, yeah, you get in there, you have no way out.
Okay, looks like Michael Tucker is out, so here is Tucker with his second shot, hole 5. And he went with a direct line forehand, and it was breaking right. I didn't see where it ended up.
He may have got caught up. There's a little bit of a backstop there. He was trying to put the pressure on there and run for it.
Say he has at least 10 feet back to the basket. Here's Singleton with his approach shot, hole 5. And
you know, that's what Seth wanted. He wanted to put the pressure back on Michael, and because Michael Lester was able to test her putt. Seth said, "I'm just going to lay this close and let you determine your fate here."
yeah, so we'll have to see exactly where Michael Tucker ended up here, Darius. It did look like it hit a tree, and that might have worked to his favor, like you were saying, almost like a backstop.
Yeah. That's the one good thing about it. If you go long left,
Well, it kicked a little bit back. It looks like he has a few small trees in the way, but he should have a clear line to the hole. So here is Michael Tucker to have an opportunity to push this hole. Great putt. Dead center chains, and Seth Singleton should put this in for the 3, and he does. Hole 5 is a push. Seth Singleton's still 3 up. We'll be at hole 6 in just a minute. Welcome back, hole 6, par 3. Seth Singleton has the tee. He goes with a backhand hyzer shot there, Darius. It's out over the road, but looks like it should cut back inbounds, and it is. But he's looking at a good 35, 40 feet to the basket. Here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 6.
Starting to feel our first bit of wind here.
Yeah, just a very slight breeze, less than 5 miles an hour. Should still be negligible, I would think, on this hole, unless we have a sudden gust come up. But here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot. And he goes with a slight flex forehand, but it's not coming back.
Like I said, I feel like there may be a little more headwind than what we can feel here because he literally he threw it on a good line and it just let the headwind just kind of turned it over a little.
Yeah, it definitely appeared that way, Darius. And he made it just past halfway of this hole. I would say maybe he's a good 180 feet out still.
Yeah, and I'd say so. The one thing that either will work in his favor or may work against him here is a downhill. And we have all seen it. There's rollaways like no other on this hole.
Yeah, with the out of bounds road at the bottom of the drop off as well, Darius.
Absolutely. It's a tough hole to really kind of run it from where he's at. But we'll see. Maybe match play is all about picking the right time to get aggressive, and if he's feeling it, we'll see.
And right now, I would say the odds are probably in the favor of this hole being a push, unless somebody does do something aggressive, and the tables turn in either direction.
I agree. Which Seth has an uphill putt, so he can really give it a good run from where he's at with little danger there.
Okay, so Michael Tucker is selecting his disc. Looks like it will be a putter approach from here. And these guys seem to be having a great time, which is always good to see. Here's Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 6. And it's a high approach, and it almost had the distance, but he is in great range for his third shot.
Yeah, about 15 feet, a little bit of a downhill putt. Maybe a little closer to 20. I'm not sure. It's a little hard to say with the downhill, though. I expect to see him able to tap that in.
Yeah, well within his range from what we've seen so far today. Here is Seth Singleton with his second shot, hole 6. Let's see if he runs it. And it looked like he did, just a little low, a little left.
Yeah, from where he was at, it really gives him a good chance to run it, and he's really looking to capitalize on that putt.
Okay, here's Michael Tucker to get the 3 to push this hole. And it's in. Great putt there. Even though that's a typical range for a putt for a lot of players, when you add that pressure in, it suddenly becomes much more difficult, right, Darius?
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely missed one of those during my match play. Those are the ones you expect to make, and when you miss them, it's really heartbreaking.
Well, great job to both competitors there, getting the 3. Hole 6 is a push. We'll be at hole 7 in just a minute. We're back, hole 7. Seth Singleton just drove, and looks like it was low, but it went toward the basket. Didn't get a good view of it there, Darius. What'd you see?
I was seeing that he was feeling it and didn't want to wait for the camera. He looks like he's in his mode now.
All right, and here is Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 7. And
Get that good kick.
nice forehand shot there. Looks like he's going to be a good 15 feet from the basket. It's all going to depend on which trees are in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think Seth kicked that tree right beside the basket. I'm not sure. I couldn't see the reaction. But I think he's fairly close. He seemed to like the shot.
Yeah, it was. Still don't have eyes on it, but let's say from what I could see, it looks like both of these gentlemen should have an opportunity to get a 2.
Absolutely. I think both men ended up right. I'd venture to say that Michael's a little further right. Okay, here we go. We approach Seth's lie.
Yes, looks like Seth definitely has a clean straddle putt look within 7 feet.
Yeah, and Seth is really, really comfortable with the straddle putt. You know, most players struggle with that, but he can switch it up pretty heavily.
All right, Michael Tucker's setting up. Looks like it's about a 15, 20 foot putt from just on the edge of a ditch. So not an easy putt, but definitely doable. Here's Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 7. Oh, tough break there,
He
Darius.
hit a lot of chains. It looked like he was just a little bit to the weak side there.
Okay, so this is another window of opportunity for Seth Singleton. Here he is with his second shot to take the hole. And it's in. Great 2 there by Seth Singleton. He takes hole 7 and is now 4 up. We'll be at hole 8 in just a minute. Okay, we're back, hole 8. It's a par 3, 240 feet. Road to the right is out of bounds. Seth Singleton has the tee. He is 4 up. Oh, low backhand drive there, but it got a favorable skip back in bounds, Darius.
Yeah, Seth was going for the road skip there. He really likes that play here. Just left a little low out of his hand.
Okay, and here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 8. And he's going with a big hyzer backhand shot there. It hits the road and just rolls in bounds. Wow, that could have been pretty bad, Darius. But
he'll be turning over a little bit. But he definitely got it in bounds. He's got the advantage here, whereas he's probably about 35 feet out. So puts a little bit of pressure on Seth here to make sure he gets up and down here.
yeah, definitely. You know, one of those shots where, like you were saying, it was starting to maybe turn over. Could have been really bad, but he does have an opportunity. I think he has to run it here, Darius. Get back in this match.
I believe it's time for him to start getting aggressive. We're almost halfway through here, and he's really struggled with the first few holes, but I expect to see him. This could be a putt that will really get him going.
Yeah, exactly. And he needs some space, or this match is going to be ending in the next few holes. So Seth Singleton is out. Here he is with his second shot, hole 8. And he does have an opportunity to make this really interesting. And he takes the aggressive putt. You heard it hit the band there, Darius. Wow.
Absolutely. You know, he wanted that putt. You can tell it. He thought it was in out of his hand.
Okay, so here is Michael Tucker's opportunity to take a hole on Seth Singleton. It has the height, it has the distance, but it was just a little wide right. Good try there by Michael Tucker, though. As long as you had the distance, you know, it could have been worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, he gave it a bid there. He really wanted that putt. But again, this is going to be a push here. You know, it's 2 tap-ins for these guys. And with us moving on to hole 9, we'll see if he can't continue to stay aggressive.
Yep, so hole 8's a push, and we'll be at hole 9 in just a minute. All right, we're back. Hole 9. It's 247 feet, par 3, uphill. Seth Singleton
still has a tee box. Looks like he's going to elect the forehand up the middle.
All right, let's see how it goes. Wow, hit the gap perfectly there, Darius.
I mean, he couldn't have asked for anything better. He is absolutely parked, and he is doing his happy dance.
Great shot. So here's Michael Tucker. Tee shot, hole 9. And he takes the route just to the right of the trees, tries to turn it over, has the distance, but it is wide right, a good 50 feet back to the basket.
Yeah, you know, right there, you people at home, you just saw the 2 ways to play this hole. You got up the middle, and then you have the outside route. With both these players being predominantly forehand, they elected to both throw forehand. The forehand, though, outside route, you got to put a big flex on it, and it seemed like he just released it a little too flat, and that's why he didn't get quite the result Seth got. Seth released his flat, turned over a little bit, and then he had a little bit of an Anheuser skip there at the end that really laid him close.
Yeah, he is parked within 10 feet of the basket. Michael Tucker is going to have to run this once again, Darius.
Yeah, you know, Seth's kept the pressure on him all around, and it doesn't look like he's lighting up anytime soon.
So Michael Tucker's still talking up there with Seth. He's still having a good time. Good to see.
Oh yeah.
That's what this is all about. There's the competitive aspect, but also just the fun social aspect of disc golf, and that's part of what makes it so much fun. Okay, here's Michael Tucker with his second shot. Hole 9.
He's not happy with the lie. It looks like he has a pretty tight gap to get to the pin. Gonna force a tough straddle putt.
Okay, he throws it. It had the distance, hit the top of the basket there. Wow.
You know,
tough break
really
again,
seen
Darius.
Michael Tucker really running these long putts to put the pressure on Seth. You know, that's 2 tough breaks he's had on those long putts to save it.
Yeah, he's had some great runs here today, but just a little too late. Here's Seth Singleton with his 2. Dead center, he takes hole 9, and he is now 5 up. We'll see everyone for the back 9 on hole 10 in just a minute. All right, we are back. Hole 10, par 4, 502 feet. Seth Singleton has the tee, 5 up. And he goes with a low backhand there, hits an early tree, and he's going to have a lot of work left, Darius.
Yeah, he didn't end up in a very good spot, but
Okay.
this is Michael's time to really capitalize.
And Michael Tucker with the forehand. It turns over a little bit, but he's through quite a few trees. We'll have to see what his line looks like from there, Darius.
Yeah, you know, he had the right height. Just turned it over just a little bit. You know, he seems to do that a couple times on this round. He seems to be throwing the disc well, just turning them over just a little bit. I believe we're going to approach Seth's disc first. I think he's stuck right behind this first tree here, and I think he's going to be forced to throw a forehand.
Yeah, that's one advantage to having a good forehand shot is even when you're tucked up close to these trees, you can still get some good power on that disc.
Surprisingly, I believe he's going to actually have a better look with a backhand.
Okay, so decisions here for Seth Singleton as he tries to put some final nails in the coffin of this match.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw a roller here, John.
Okay, so here's Seth Singleton with his second shot, hole 10. Let's see what he elects to do. And he just went with a standard backhand there, hoping for a skip. He got about a 20-foot skip at the end. He should have a great look for his third shot to approach it into the basket.
Absolutely. You know, for where he landed on his tee, that is the perfect spot to get up and down. I think he's reached a point where he's going to play it a little safer and just keep the pressure applied. Looks like Michael Tucker got pretty far left into these trees down here, John. He may have a forehand hyzer route to the pin.
Yeah, I was getting a quick glance of what it looks like down there, and actually he really might, like you said, have a great backhand look or forehand, whatever he elects to do.
Yeah, if he keeps it wide here, he can get left of all these trees, and that's really going to help him get up to the pin.
Okay, so we'll here's Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 10. And forehand, you heard the reaction, hits a tree and kicks hard left toward the 11's fairway.
That was about a foot from perfection, John. He threw that disc exactly how he wanted it. Clipped the very last bit of the very last tree. I'll say, it may not have the best result, but I think that's the most solid forehand he's thrown all around.
Yeah, that was a great strategy as well. And a big part of disc golf is making the right decisions.
Absolutely.
You can't always execute, but at least if you're thinking in the right direction, you can work towards that execution in the future.
I agree completely,
This is
John.
probably where you'd be in that gap over there. I'd rather be over here.
Okay, so Michael Tucker does still have a pretty wide open approach to the basket down there by the road, kind of where the stump is for those of you unfamiliar with the course. The road is OB, so you don't want to go long, but here's Michael Tucker with his third shot, hole 10. Another forehand shot there, Darius, and he's skipped within 30 feet of the basket.
Yeah,
So he will have an
He
opportunity
didn't really care
at a
for it
four.
out of his hand. He left it a little low, right line, just a little low out of his hand, and came up just short of the basket.
So Seth Singleton with his his third shot.
He's
Hole
actually
10.
lining up a jump putt here.
And he lets it up, and it stayed in bounds. That is one thing you did not want to see there, is him going out of bounds. That would have
You know, he
really
had
been
a little fear
disastrous.
in his eye there after he threw that. He knew he turned it over just a little more than he wanted. But with all that being said, OB's only about 15 to 20 feet from the basket, and I believe that he's gonna have a 20-footer here.
Yeah, so he's set up to win this hole. This is a must make for Michael Tucker. This is his 4th shot now, hole 10. And it's in. Great putt there, Darius.
Absolutely. You know, that was the must-needed putt we talked about, and this really flips it around. This puts the pressure right back on Seth.
Yeah, great putt there
This is
by
for
Michael
Seth
Tucker.
He left himself a little bit of a tester. He's about 15 feet out.
And this is for the push. And it's in. Great putt by Seth Singleton as well. Hole 10's a push. Seth Singleton's 5 up. We'll be at hole 11 in just a minute. And we're back hole 11. You just saw Seth Singleton with his drive. He's currently 5 up. This is a 275-foot par 3 uphill to the basket.
Yeah, Seth just left that one a little lower than what he would have liked. I think he's supposed to have a better putt than he's expecting when he gets up there.
Here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 11. And he had a clean release there, a little high, but he will have a look at the basket. Looks like it made it around the bend, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing you want to do on this hole, John, with the forehand. You can go left, you can go right, but you want to make sure you get it. If you're going right, you need to make sure you get it long enough to get around this little bit of brush you got there. I believe both guys will be around 40 feet downhill putts.
Right, and with the match getting a little later now, there is no shame in being aggressive and going for it if you're Michael Tucker and you're down by 5.
Yeah, you got to here. I mean, you know, we're running out of holes. We have 8 holes left, you know. It's now is the time.
Yeah, it's the clamps are slowly closing on
Absolutely.
Michael Tucker's hopes of going to Emporia. Okay, so Seth Singleton and Michael Tucker are both in pretty similar positions here, but it looks like Michael Tucker's out.
Yeah, I'd say Michael Tucker's out. Again, I feel like he has to be aggressive here, John.
Okay, so here's Michael Tucker with his 2nd shot, hole 11. And it's up, a little short, but he'll have a tap in for 3. So here's an opportunity for Seth Singleton to get this hole. And it's low, and he's 10 feet.
Yeah, I believe Seth
From
kind
the
of
basket.
elected to lay that up there. I don't feel like he gave that a full bid, but he left himself a little bit of work to do.
So Michael Tucker's in with the 3, and here's Seth Singleton to push the hole. And it's in. So hole 11 is a push. Seth Singleton's still 5 up. We'll be at hole 12 in just a minute. Okay, we're back hole 12. Seth Singleton has the tee. And he goes with a forehand through a narrow gap. It's going right toward the basket, but skips hard right at the end. He'll have 30 feet back for his putt.
You can see Seth wanted no bit of that shot there. Not what he wanted, but ended up absolutely. Great.
Okay, so here's Michael Tucker with his tee shot, hole 12.
One time I go,
He's also throwing forehand down the extreme left side of the fairway, but it is in, and he is in great shape for his second shot, Darius.
Absolutely. You know, he out of his hand, he immediately said come back, and he just listened. I'll tell you, that was such a great forehand there. And this is a hole that you really want to showcase your forehand on if you have it.
Absolutely. And he has to pretty much play almost an error-free game from here on out if Seth Singleton keeps playing to the same level he has to this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, it's Michael Tucker. He's had all these holes, and it's time for him to really dial it in and make a push if he wants to move on in this tournament. I'll tell you, shots like that is how he's going to do it, though, John.
Absolutely. And he's definitely starting to prove that he can hang in this competition. They both had byes in the first week, which was a little unfortunate in some ways. It would have been good for them to have an extra match.
You know, match play, we've seen it today and alone, you know. Match play is all about momentum. Early on, Seth had it, and now it seems to be Michael maybe starting to pick it up a little bit. He's hit a couple big putts in the last couple holes, and just a couple tough breaks.
Yeah, so looks like Seth Singleton is out. Here is his second shot. It's a must make for him. And it's in. Great shot there.
Wow.
And the pressure is now on Michael Tucker.
I'll tell you, John, Seth's not letting up.
Michael Tucker also in with
no.
a 2. Oh, no, it went out.
Oh,
What
my
just
goodness.
happened there? Oh, my goodness.
Oh my goodness. That had to be the worst spit out. It went into the basket and came out.
That is incredible. So Seth Singleton is now
Dormy right now.
6 up.
Dormy, it's not over, it's dormy, right? That's like right now I'm actually 6.
And we're back, hole 13, 265-foot par 3. Seth Singleton is dormy, which means that Michael Tucker has to win every hole from here on out or this match is over. Here's Seth Singleton with his tee shot, hole 13. And Seth Singleton goes with a forehand, and he skips to within 10 feet of the basket. Great tee shot there, Darius.
Ace run?
And you called it. Michael Tucker just said he's throwing this one in, guys.
Okay.
That's the only way, right?
Yeah, he's saying he pretty much needs to get an ace, in his opinion.
He said if he's acing it, he's throwing his favorite disc here.
So he's throwing in all the chips here.
Everything he's got.
This is the excitement of match
To
play.
the point where he stands up from the table.
And Michael Tucker
Inside,
going for
flip
the
up.
ace.
Kick off a tree?
He's going to have a tough shot there for his second, but still not impossible.
Absolutely not. We've seen stranger things. You know, going back to Tuesday night, I did see Seth miss a 10-footer. Worst part is I missed it right behind him.
Yeah, that's the thing about playing doubles is really is a team thing, and
Absolutely.
if you both miss, then it's really on both of you.
You know, it's one of the things you can't be mad.
Like it wasn't a gimme by any means.
And we have a great time out here on Tuesday nights. I think we're still teeing off at 5 o'clock, so I'd
Absolutely.
encourage people to come on out here if you're free on Tuesday evenings. We have a great crowd here and
You know, they really got
friendly
the
group.
format going, John. They got 5 CTPs, so
Oh, that's great.
you know, $1 CTPs and
High ace putts right now too.
absolutely ace pot. Someone needs to hit that dang ace pot, John.
Okay, so here is Michael Tucker to try to give this match a chance for him. He has a kind of a tough putt, but looks like the brush has all been trimmed around those trees, so he might have a corridor.
I think he's going for the style points here between the trees.
All right, Michael Tucker with his second shot, hole 13, to try to keep this match alive. And it's right and low. So opportunity here for Seth Singleton. Yeah.
Will you keep videotaping if I make it though?
Seth
And it's
Singleton just
in.
looked back and said he feels like Paul Macbeth there.
Yeah, so Seth Singleton wins this match 7-5. And great job there. We'll be right back in just a minute with some player interviews.
All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm here with Michael Tucker. Just got eliminated from the bracket. How does it feel?
Like, I didn't really hate the way I played. I felt like I played pretty decent. Seth was just absolutely shredding the course. The only 2 holes I might could have made a comeback on, I felt like, were maybe 3, which I threw OB. So that knocked me out, and I still had a chance to at least push that hole. And then I guess hole 12, where he sank a putt from, what, about 35, 40 feet.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. You know, you kept the pressure on early. You got a tough break with that hole in 3, and then hole 4 didn't treat you very well with the left side woods. You know,
No.
you played well. Seth just seemed to be playing lights out today.
yeah, he was. I mean, even on hole 4, I got it down where make a par. He was in the woods for his birdie putt. Made that one.
That's just the struggles of match play. You know, it's
It
not
is.
about you always.
Right.
But, well, congratulations. You had a good match. Hope you had fun.
Oh, yeah.
And hope to see you
congratulations
next
to
year
Seth.
for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, here we are with Seth. He just won, as you can see, defeated Michael Tucker here on hole 13. Up next, you got Grant Kelly. He's been playing very solid.
Yeah.
You know, you have some time to practice. Looks like you guys will be playing next week.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to prepare for that match?
It's really the big mental game. Like the first 3 holes were just shaky putts. I missed a 10-foot putt by 4 or 5 feet to the left. So
Absolutely. You know, you got to really dial it in. Like I said, Grant, I believe he shot 10 down the other day playing against Drake. And, again, it's just going to be match play, playing smart. I think you got it. You got up early. What was your mindset there?
Even up early, it was still like he's going to catch me back pretty quick, especially when he almost had me again on hole 3 after an OB. I was just like, I knew he was going to catch me again, but. Yeah,
absolutely. We saw some nerves there, and I think with this being your first match play, you know, you had to buy the first round. I think you'll really start dialing it in, and we're really looking forward to see that match. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you in the next round.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, here we are with Jimmy and Blake. We're all square the first 3 holes. Both men are in similar position here.
Okay, Jimmy opens square with a very great approach shot, Darius.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's obviously keeping the pressure on Blake and saying, put it close or lose a stroke.
Yeah, and which shot was that for him, Darius?
That would have been his 3rd shot, I believe, and
Okay.
this is Blake's 3rd shot here.
Okay.
So again, just kind of pressure's on Blake here to put it close, push the hole.
Okay, so here is Blake David with his 3rd shot, hole 4. Goes with a forehand right toward the basket, but he has about 10 to 15 feet back in.
You know, as we approach this hole, Blake told me he seems to be struggling off the tee, so I wonder if he was thinking, get aggressive here and maybe take a stroke. You know, it seemed like he gave that a good bid there. He maybe know his game's not necessarily where he wants it to be, so he's trying to take some strokes early. Maybe that's what we saw there.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive line. He had the power, but that's good here in match play because you need to try to take these holes when you have the opportunity to do so.
Absolutely. As we saw when Blake played Dave Quinn, he is a very aggressive player.
So here's Blake David with his 4th shot, hole 4. And routinely in. Should be just a drop in for Jimmy Elkins. And I think he's hoping that Blake will give it to him, and he does. So hole 4 is a push. We'll all square going to hole 5. We'll be there in just a minute. Okay, and we are back, hole 5, 240-foot par 3, matches all square. And I believe Jimmy Elkins has the tee. And he goes with a backhand turnover shot. I'm joined now by Drake Abernathy. Drake, welcome to the broadcast. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. I got to see a little bit of their match. Starting on hole 1, Jimmy took a bogey and lost a stroke to Blake. And then Jimmy managed to get a birdie on hole 2 and get it back there all square. And they pushed on hole 3 and 4.
Yeah, so it looks like it's shaping up to be a great match so far. We wouldn't expect anything less. Here's Blake David with his tee shot, hole 5.
Looks like he's throwing a Maverick here.
Okay, strong backhand shot there. Looked great from my vantage point, Drake.
Yeah, I think both men are in a good spot.
Yeah, so Blake David seems to have recovered well from any sort of injury you had referenced in our preview show back before the round of 16, Drake. He seems sharp as ever this afternoon.
Yeah, he seems to be doing pretty well, but he still got the big scar on his head. You think that's gonna go away, John?
Only time will tell, Drake. But for now, I'm really glad to see him out here competing and playing at a high level. And he's going to need it against Jimmy Elkins, especially if Jimmy Elkins' putting game is on. How's Jimmy looked so far with his putting?
Neither man has been outside the circle for their putts. But
I would imagine if this match continues to progress towards hole 18, they will have opportunities to showcase those circle 2 putts. But here is Blake David with his second shot, hole 5.
This is a good tester putt right here. Now I will say, Blake was not putting well in his warm-up.
Okay, it's up, it's wide right. So here is a window for Jimmy Elkins to take this hole and get back to 1 up.
If any of the viewers at home are wondering how Blake did get injured, a piece of metal hit him at his work.
Well, unfortunately, there's Blake David. He taps him for 3. He is not happy. But Jimmy Elkins is going to have to hit this still. So here is Jimmy Elkins with his second shot to take hole 5 and go 1 up. And he does just that. Great shot there by Jimmy Elkins. He takes hole 5 and he's 1 up. We'll be at hole 6 in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Hole 6. It's a 355-foot par 3 downhill. Road to the right is out of bounds. Jimmy Elkins has the tee. And he goes with a high backhand shot there, Drake. Let's see how this breaks out. And he has about 25, maybe 30 feet back to the basket for his second shot.
30 feet.
Okay, here's Blake David. Tee shot, hole 6. And he had a good snap there on his backhand. It's breaking back toward the basket and right under it. Excellent shot there, Drake. Yeah, so Jimmy Elkins is going to have the pressure on him here to try to force this push here.
I think Jimmy would rather be where he's at than putting downhill. I think he'd take the uphill putt here.
Sorry.
Yeah, when putting downhill, that out of bounds road comes into play as well. I've definitely seen a time or two where the disc will flip on its side and roll out of bounds into the road. But that's a really bad day. But we've seen some strange things happen here today.
I feel like if I'm short on hole 6, the putter is just so stable going off the basket.
And just in the last match this afternoon, we had Seth Singleton win against Michael Tucker. And Michael Tucker had an unfortunate spit out on hole 12. It looked like the disc was in, and it literally went around the chains and out. So weird things here today, Drake.
Unfortunate.
But
We'll a gloomy day out there. Feels like it's going to rain. None's predicted.
Yeah, perfect conditions for disc golf, you know.
Yeah, no wind.
Yeah, the temperature's right around 68 degrees Fahrenheit and mostly cloudy skies. So the sun shouldn't really play much of a factor in blinding any shots for these competitors. But here's Jimmy Elkins approaching his disc for his second shot, hole 6.
Than predicted, I think. Only about 20 feet here.
Yeah, definitely right there around 20 feet. Here's Jimmy Elkins, second shot, hole 6. Great laser putt, dead center, clutch putt by Jimmy Elkins. And this should be very routine for Blake David.
I noticed Jimmy didn't pick this one up for Blake, and Blake picked up one for him on the last hole.
Okay, so hole 6 is all square, and Jimmy Elkins won up. Okay, we are back. Hole 7 here at Woodland Park. Jimmy Elkins is one up. The last hole was a push. I misspoke briefly there, but Jimmy Elkins is one up. Both competitors have already thrown their tee shot here on hole 7.
Yeah, it looks like Blake got a lucky tree kick there, John.
Yeah, so Blake David should have a clean look at a 2. we'll have to see exactly where they end up. They're coming down the hill right now, as you can see, to the putting area.
Looks like Jimmy might have a few trees in his way. He's not terribly far out, though.
Yeah, this has been a very close match. Yeah, Jimmy Elkins is walking out towards the woods, so he will have a little bit of work to do to try to get a 2 here. Looking at probably 40 feet or so back to the basket.
Yeah, about 35 feet. Whether he has a clean look or not, we are not sure.
Okay, so Jimmy Elkins is drying off his putter, and here's his second shot, hole 7. But it's low, dead center but low, still hit the pole. It doesn't count in this modern age of disc golf.
Do you think it should count, John?
I do not, but in the old
Like how the
days they had the
game's set
pole hole. So here's Blake David with his second shot, and it's in. He takes hole 7 with a 2.
John, he barely snuck that one in there.
Great clutch putt though by Blake David, and we are now officially all square. We'll be at hole 8 in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Hole 8. It's 240 foot long, par 3. Match is all square. Blake David has the tee. He goes with a strong backhand shot there, Drake. It seemed like maybe he was trying to touch it in though, but it gets on its side and it rolls within 7 feet of the basket. Great bounce there for Blake David. Okay, and here's Jimmy Elkins with his tee shot, hole 8. Road to the right is out of bounds. Yeah, Jimmy Elkins with a backhand, and that's looking beautiful there. And it was clean the whole way, within 10 feet of the basket. So we're definitely looking at a high percentage chance of 2 twos and a push on this hole, Drake.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be.
There wouldn't be anything wrong with that.
If I were them, I would just elect to pick up.
That is an option here in match play. Either competitor can concede at any point. You don't even technically have to finish your match if you don't want to, which it is interesting. It's a different strategy, Drake.
Yeah, I'm surprised Michael Tucker didn't do that today playing Seth Singleton.
Yeah, Michael Tucker, he actually had a pretty good match. He was hanging right there with Seth. He had some aggressive putts that just barely didn't make it in. They would hit the top of the cage and then skim out. But great match with Michael Tucker, and especially congratulations to Seth Singleton, the winner who's advancing to that semifinal match. And there's Blake David, routine 2. And I expect to see the same here from Jimmy Elkins once he sets up at his lie.
Setting his bag down. Pulling out his big bead, 80 yards.
And it's in. So hole 8 is a push. We're all square heading to hole 9. We'll see everyone there in just a minute. Okay, we're back live, hole 9, 247-foot par 3 uphill to the basket. Blake David has the tee. We're all square. And he went with a flex forehand there, Drake, and it's coming out very nicely, right under the basket. Great shot.
This is one of the more difficult holes on Woodland. A lot of pressure on Jimmy here.
Yeah, quite a bit of pressure on Jimmy Elkins. Let's see if he sticks to his game plan with his tee shot, hole 9. And he goes with a backhand hyzer,
Yeah, looks like it's going to sneak in there.
it's right there. He's within 25 feet of the basket, but well within his range.
Oh yeah, I think we can definitely make that putt, John.
Yeah, I would expect to see him put this in. But as we've seen in the matches previous to this, sometimes these routine putts aren't as easy in these match play situations because the pressure is there, just like in a tournament.
Yeah, I think that's just disc golf. You miss some easy putts sometimes.
Yep, that's part of what makes it so exciting. And this is another one of the new trees that's growing here on the course. It looks like it's a baby dogwood tree. I'm sure it'll be quite the obstacle in the years to come in our match play competitions.
Down, John.
I believe that's not a decision for us to make. But
Have you practiced the inside route for when it grows up?
yeah, that is a true statement there, Drake. That inside route might become the preferred route if that dogwood can survive to maturity.
Yeah, I've been testing it out for when the tree does grow up.
Okay, so here's Jimmy Elkins. This is a must-make second shot on hole 9. And he is setting up. Has his lie marked, and here he goes.
Once again, he's putting with a big bead, 80 yard.
And it's in with authority. Great putt there, Drake.
Yeah, it was a little bit weak side.
That grabbed like two nubs of a chain.
And you can tell he is excited.
He was happy.
And Blake David drops it in. Hole 9 is a push. We're all square through 9. We'll bring you the back 9 coverage in just a minute. Okay, we're back hole 10, 502 feet, par 4 through the tunnel to the road. Blake David has the tee.
That's one of the new Raiders, John.
Yeah, and that looked like maybe it was a little left of the line he had hoped to release it on, but it still made it through quite a few gaps, and he should have some sort of an approach look for his second shot. Okay, Jimmy Elkins now with his tee shot hole 10. We're still all square. And Jimmy gave it a big running throw, but it lifted up into the branch and drops.
Higher or lower, I think that would have been good, John.
Yeah, tough break there for Jimmy Elkins.
That might be a small branch, but it's definitely solid.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more difficult tee shots on the entire course, Drake. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I agree. It's interesting. I see some lines opening up to the left and the right here.
Yeah, so definitely some options. Every year, this course changes a little bit as it breaks in. This Tuesday will actually be the 3-year anniversary of this course being open to the public, and it's changed quite a bit in its young 3 years.
Yeah, we should bake a cake.
Okay, here's Jimmy Elkins with his second shot, hole 10. And he really got into that one, Drake. He has crushed it with that backhand, but it hits a tree. He will have a long look for his third shot at the basket. Yeah, great shot. So let's see where Blake David ended up here. He definitely went down in front of the short tee pad. So it'll be within 350 feet of the basket. But it's all going to depend on whether it's behind a tree or not and what sort of line he has.
Now, John, you're one of the founding fathers of Milltown. Is that true?
One of many.
And what do you think about the club's growth over the 3 years?
Well, it's grown from nothing. No one knew anything about disc golf to now we have approximately 100 members, and then plenty of other people from around the area that'll come to our events and tournaments. So I'm pleased. The foundation's been laid in the first few years, and I hope to see the club grow exponentially here in the next few. And the current board, I think, is doing a great job of moving us in that direction, and I'd expect to see us continue to progress in the coming years. Okay, here's Blake David. Looks like he's going to try a forehand shot for his second, hole 10.
Looking through his 2 fins, chooses this one. Looks like lucid plastic.
All right, that's looking very nice. If it can get around the tree, and it does, it's right under the basket. Great shot there by Blake David. All right. So Jimmy really has to try to run this here, I think. It's going to be a...
Yeah, and he's going to have a look at it.
Yeah, this is going to be a key moment on this particular hole, and could end up being a key moment in the entire match as we march towards hole 18.
And he's made 2 big putts on 6 and 9, but not quite this distance.
Okay, so here's Jimmy Elkins with his third shot, hole 10. And it's up and wow, it was dead center, just slightly low there, Drake. Heartbreaker for Jimmy Elkins.
Right on line.
But
Now Blake has been known to choke. I think he's pretty close to the basket.
yeah, this is his opportunity. I believe he is within 4 feet of the basket, so I would expect him to drain this putt.
Surely he can miss this.
And it's dead center. Blake David takes hole 10 with an excellent 3. He is now 1 up. We'll be at hole 11 in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Hole 11, par 3. 275 feet. Blake David is 1 up, and he takes a great forehand drive there, Drake.
I was gonna say just a little bit short. Might have got the skip up there.
Okay, and here's Jimmy Elkins. Jimmy Elkins with the powerful backhand turnover, but it goes a little long and left, Drake. He's gonna have a tough look for his second shot.
Another big putt Jimmy's gonna have to make.
Yeah, so this hole is 275 feet long. It's a par 3 uphill and slightly to the right. And as we just saw there with Jimmy Elkins' tee shot, if it starts breaking left along with the slope, you could end up well beyond 50 feet from the basket.
Oh, definitely. And that's the thing, you know, you can crash a forehand into it, still might roll away, and if you do a backhand turnover shot, it can just glide.
Yeah, so it can be kind of a difficult hole for a backhand player. Whereas those forehand shots, I feel like this hole really plays to those. And Drake, like we mentioned earlier, the weather is perfect out here today. There literally has not been any wind, maybe just a slight puff of a breeze at moments, but this is allowing for some pure disc golf today,
Yeah,
just to see the raw talent of these two individuals.
Yeah, definitely showing off their raw talent. Now Blake needs to make this putt here. Jimmy's
And
probably out.
Jimmy is down the hill. It looks like at least 50 feet from the basket. So he's going to have a long tester putt here to try to salvage a 2.
Now, he is putting uphill, so I believe he is going to be running this.
And Jimmy Elkins right up. It's dead center again. Drake hits the pole, but not enough height.
Yeah, I think he's hitting middle at least on every one of his putts.
Okay, here's Blake David to win the hole with a 2. And it's in. Great 2 there by Blake David. He wins hole 11 and he is now 2 up. We'll be at hole 12 in just a minute. And we're back, hole 12. It is a 270-foot par 3. Blake David is 2 up.
Oh, get off
And forehand drive right into the tree there, Drake. Tough break for Blake David.
Fully commit. I was like, I should throw this other enforcer.
And Jimmy Elkins now with his tee shot. Hole 12. And it's high. And he's on the right side of the fairway. Another 50-foot approach to the basket, guarded by a lot of trees. Tough break there for him, Drake.
Yeah, not a display of clutch from Jimmy there.
Yeah, tough break for him, but yeah, tough break for him there, Drake. But both competitors are in tough spots, so it should maybe play out. Was a little bit of an even factor. Blake David with his approach shot is within 10 feet of the basket, so he should be set up nicely for a 3. Pressure's on Jimmy Elkins here. He really has to get this close. And here's Jimmy Elkins with his second shot, hole 12. And it's in. Wow, what a putt there, Drake.
Yeah, and he needed that one there, John. As we know, Jimmy doesn't have quite the distance as Blake David, and holes 18 and 14 are going to be a challenge for him.
Yeah, that was incredible there. He wins hole 12. Blake David is 1 up. We'll be at hole 13 in just a minute. We're back hole 13. Jimmy Elkins has the tee. Blake David's 1 up.
Is he leaving?
Great forehand shot there by Jimmy Elkins. I'm joined here now by Darius Turrentine.
All right,
Darius?
John, the last couple of holes, I really got an inside look at these guys. Try to get in their head a little bit, see what they're thinking. Blake is really down on himself. He's playing well, but he's down on himself, and Jimmy's definitely keeping the pressure high. Here we go with Blake. All right. Blake leaves a little wide. He told me on the last hole this is his more overstable disc. So
Ooh, tough break there. He's right behind those trees, so he'll have a tough look for his second shot at the basket.
absolutely, you know, and he's really getting down on himself. He doesn't have much confidence in his putting, but the thing, John, is he's playing very well. You know, I don't understand. I think it's all mental for him. You know, he's new to match play, and Jenny seems the old cat, as we like to call him. He seems to really be getting in his head.
He definitely has the experience and the ability to take over these matches.
Absolutely. You know, he already said a couple holes prior, I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he said he's not missing another 50-footer. He drains that 80-footer there on hole 12.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was one of the highlights of the entire tournament so far,
Absolutely.
Darius.
You know, and we talked about this in our previous match earlier with Seth. Match play is about momentum, you know, and Jimmy really had the momentum coming into this hole. So let's see if he can keep it up there.
Yeah, so Jimmy Elkins has an opportunity to take this hole as well. I would say he has the cleaner look at the basket. So here's Jimmy Elkins with his second shot, hole 13.
Nice shot up here for Jimmy. Really dialed his putting in. I expect to see him make this putt here.
Oh, a little high.
You know, John, that's a surprising miss for the simple fact that putting down there, everyone leaves it low. That's such a uphill putt. There we go, Blake, for a chance to capitalize with that break back.
Oh, he hits the band and it's rolling. We just saw two outbursts from both of these players. Neither one happy with what happened there.
Absolutely not. You know, and that just goes to show what's mentally going on in these guys' heads. You know, they both know every stroke matters, and they're both playing against really great individuals.
And they're both in for threes. So hole 13 is a push. Blake David's still one up. We'll be at the hole 14 tee in just a minute. Okay, we're back. Hole 14, Woodland Park. Blake David is one up. Jimmy Elkins has the tee. It's 606 feet to the basket. And he goes with a big backhand shot, but he's out in the middle of the fairway. So should be able to work with that, Darius.
Absolutely. You know, he said it himself. That'll work. He gave himself an open look to the basket.
Okay, Blake David with his tee shot, hole 14.
It was worse than the bathroom. It'd be into the pavilion. Air shot.
And he's going with a roller. It nicks a tree, but it's still going to be safe in the fairway. Lucky shot there, Darius.
I'll tell you what, John. He's going to have a great forehand to the basket from there. I guarantee you we see him pull out that pink enforcer and slam it right up there at the basket.
Yeah, great power on that shot to be able to have the tree nick it, and it continues into the fairway.
Absolutely. You know, the craziest part, I saw him throw that exact same shot Tuesday in doubles. He was on my card as well, along with Seth. And he threw a perfect shot, clipped that tree, and it rolled a long way. I would like to see it get off that tree and see how far it really would have went.
Yeah, there's no telling where it would have ended up.
I'll tell you, he had to throw that with at least 800 foot of power, John.
Yeah, so this match is really tight.
Absolutely. Another fun fact about this match is both these players are sponsored by DZ Disc. John, I think we should start naming this the Battle of the Sponsorships. What do you think?
We certainly could. I guess whoever wins this match will get an opportunity
Just
to give a shout
John,
out to DZ.
hypothetically, what if their sponsorships were on the line here? What if only one man could come out with a sponsorship after this match?
That would raise the stakes quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's an idea for DZ Discs for next year. Okay, here is Jimmy Elkins with his second shot, hole 14. Wow, Jimmy Elkins with the massive anhyzer there. But it's going to be out in the middle of the fairway. He'll have a look for his third shot. Probably more than likely an approach shot there, Darius. It'd be a miracle to sink it from out there.
I agree. He got a little too high. Just not enough anhyzer on it. He said it himself. He had a bit bad slip. You can see right here where his footprint was. He had a real bad slip there. So he's frustrated. And again, open the door open for Blake and see if he can capitalize here.
So the stakes are getting a little higher. You can see both of these players are feeling the emotion. Here's Blake David with his second shot, hole 14.
Absolutely. He looks like he has a little tough forehand line here, low gap. We'll see if he doesn't elect to go a little wider with it and try to.
And he hits the tree. Tough break there for Blake David. I will announce that the live stream might go dead for just a few minutes, but we'll bring it back up if that does happen. We have a spare battery on the way, so be sure to keep refreshing the stream if it does go dead.
Absolutely. It looks like our spare battery is approaching.
And we shouldn't be dead for too long.
Alright, Blake David.
Yeah, great shot there.
As soon as he released that laughter, he knew out of his hand that it was going to be.
Yeah, we're looking at 1% battery, and I'm literally about 20 feet away from the battery.
We have a 50% chance of getting right the first time, and we do!
And we're back in business.
Alright, that's what I'm talking about. Speedy.
Here's Jimmy Elkins with his third shot. Hole 14. And that was a great shot. He's right into the basket there.
Absolutely. That was almost like some Jimmy John service there. Super speedy delivery or whatever the commercial says.
Yeah, so we've got both of these guys set up for
track star in high school.
at 4.
That was our guest speaker,
Yeah.
Drake Abernathy.
Yeah, thank you to Drake Abernathy for going and grabbing a spare battery. With the double header, the gimbal died, which meant my cell phone was not being charged, and hence the bouncy coverage now. But
at least covered 2.5 miles just getting back to the vehicle, wouldn't you say?
yeah, that was great
That may be the play of the day, John.
sprinting by Drake Abernathy to save this live stream.
Better performance than I've seen out of Blake David or Jimmy Elkins today.
And this batter. And they're both in with 4s. Hole 14 is a push. Blake David's still 1 up.
Is that the battery pack not charging?
Okay, we're back. Hole 15. It's a par 3, 225 feet. And looks like Jimmy Elkins has the tee.
Just went low. I don't want to talk to that.
And great shot there, right down the center. He's about 15 feet from the basket. And Blake David now with his tee shot, hole 15. And it turns over. He's going to have a tough look for his next shot there, Darius.
Yeah, he just turned it over a little bit out of his hand. Shouldn't be anything to worry about. Time for him to hit a big putt here.
Okay, and now we're going to see a big shot here for the second shot, hole 15. Let's say Jimmy Elkins definitely has the advantage here. He's a great putter and he's within 15 feet of the basket. But Blake David's also been known to make some big putts in his days. And once again, if the live stream does go blank, we will be back. This match is close, so I would expect us to be able to catch the final hole of the match to see what happens. So stay tuned. Drake Abernathy is on his way to pick up a spare battery for us. Okay, here's Blake David with his second shot, hole 15. And it is low, but dead center. Jimmy Elkins now has the opportunity to get this match all square. And it's in. We're all square. Jimmy Elkins takes hole 15. We'll be on hole 16 in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, here we go. Just finished up the match between Blake David and Jimmy Elkins. Jimmy, there was a lot of notable frustrations throughout the match between you and Blake. In the end, you seemed to pull it all together and really finish strong. What was going through your mind during the match, and how does it feel to be moving on to face the winner of Swiss and Clint?
I can't wait for that match. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Both of them's got big arms. Be a challenge for both of them. But today, it was a battle of attrition. Really, it was. I had to get the putter going, and I knew once I got the putter going, I felt pretty confident. No matter where I threw it, as long as I was around the circle. And unfortunately, Blake just his putter wasn't with him here at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. You got your putter together, and we hope to see more of that in the match against whoever wins between Swiss and Clint. So we'll see you then.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.